There was a point in time not too long ago when every other game that came out was either a first-person shooter and or a battle royale game. So every game felt almost the same. The same thing is happening now, but replace FPS games with roguelikes. I like roguelikes. I think it's fun to progressively get stronger and stronger until you get to shit all over the boss that gave you so much trouble in your past runs. But getting to that point can get really tedious at times. So if you thought about playing other games while also playing through a roguelike, you better quit while you're ahead because getting back into the roguelike is gonna be very difficult. Just go finish the game you thought about playing before starting the roguelike and then start your playthrough. Making a roguelike not get boring after a while is very challenging. Most of the ones you're probably thinking of right now, such as The Binding of Isaac, Dead Cells, and Hades, do a great job of keeping the player invested in the game, even after putting it down for a bit. But my favorite roguelikes are the ones that try and innovate more upon the genre. Risk of Rain 2 is a prime example of this. Hoop Games made Risk of Rain 1 and said, okay, now make it 3D, and it did wonders. A lot of roguelikes make you feel like a god when you reach a certain point, and when you acquire a lot of items as well. But I don't know, Risk of Rain 2 just does it differently, to the point you always want to do one more run, and then you get obliterated by the final boss. That and plus the mods are funny. Usually roguelikes will have great soundtracks, like really great soundtracks. So what if, and hear me out here, we take a roguelike game, making it into a first-person shooter, take an amazing soundtrack, and have you shoot to the beat of the music. Well, you don't have to hear me out here because it's already been done. BPM, otherwise known as beats per minute. Otherwise known as bullets per minute, is a first-person shooter roguelike game where every action you do is in sync with the music. You have to shoot on beat, reload on beat, and dash on beat. Meaning this game is an absolute nightmare for people who can't keep rhythm, also known as people like myself. Let's get this out of the way. Unless you learn how to stay on beat, this game will make you its bitch. You will die a lot. But when you finally manage to clear a room and see that little flawless clear message appear, you'll feel really good. Roguelike games usually always depend on luck, to at least some degree, and this game is no exception. In some runs you'll get pea shooters that are weaker than water guns, and in others you'll get god tier loot. But what sets this game apart from the other roguelikes is that even with god loot, if you're not on beat consistently, you can instantly fuck up and die in a couple of seconds. And this especially applies when it comes to the bosses. For the sake of keeping this video short, we'll focus on Draugr, the boss of the first stage. I died to this guy a few times before I realized that the crosshair shows me the direction I need to dash to in order to dodge a certain attack. In this game, the enemies also attack on beat, so the crosshair specifically tells you which beat you need to dodge on. Another reason I chose to only talk about Draugr is the fact that he's the only boss I ever actually died to. No matter how ass my stats, gear, or weapons were, I always breeze through every boss after Draugr because none of their attacks cover half of the fucking screen unlike his ones. And speaking of weapons, there's quite the variety of them. Some are hit scans, some explode, but what matters is that they all go pew pew pew. My favorite weapons are probably the minigun and this napalm bomb launcher. As mentioned earlier, every weapon needs to be reloaded on beat. Meaning if you have a revolver, you need to mash your reload key for each bullet you want to load into the chamber. Thankfully for the minigun, you only need to tap like twice, which makes it even more overpowered than it already is. When looking at the trailer for this game, what immediately caught my eye was the reloading, because it sounds so fucking satisfying no matter which weapon you have equipped. You can only carry one weapon at a time unless you have the upgrade that lets you carry another one. And you also have infinite ammo. There is also an upgrade that makes it so you don't even need to reload your weapons, so you can just spam them as much as you want, as long as you're on beat. The upgrades can give you more ammo in your guns, explosions whenever you touch the ground, have your first shot to deal AoE damage, auto aim, and then there's the skeleton key. Unlike in The Binding of Isaac, where the skeleton key disappears when you enter a new level, here it stays with you for the entirety of the run. So choosing whether you want to open a library door and get a spell, or if you want to open a chest that's locked is completely meaningless until the end of the run. Each gear item takes up one slot, so you can have 4 in total. One head, glove, shield, and boot item. So you'll have to think strategically which gear suits your playstyle the best. You'll commonly encounter these shrines that give you extra points to your stats. Damage, speed, range, you've got it all. The only issue is, well, I can barely see them half the time. This game has moments where it looks pretty and where you can also see the enemies, but then there's entire areas that make it nigh impossible to see where these shrines and the enemies are. You can change the color filter option in the settings, but that doesn't do much. There's this challenge where the game becomes all pixelated to try and emulate classic Doom, and good luck seeing anything here, fucko. Eventually you get used to the look of the game and spotting enemies becomes easier. This can easily be a turnoff for newer players. Movement is the name of the game. Well, not literally, but shut up, you know what I mean. There will be rooms that act like mini bullet hell levels. You better kill everything as soon as possible, otherwise you'll get gunned down in mere seconds. Each room becomes this sort of puzzle where you'll be thinking jump, shoot, dash, reload, die. And you'll die a lot. The bats can suck the piss out of my balls. These fuckers are so annoying. God forbid you have a projectile weapon and have to aim at these little assholes. By far the most annoying enemy in the game. The game has no normal mode. There's practice, easy, hard, and super mega kick me in the balls hard. I mostly played on easy and I still ate so much shit. By the time you get used to this game, you'll have the rhythm of a professional drummer. The music in this game is absolutely perfect for mowing down room after room of enemies. Yeah, go listen to the soundtrack. I'm not a music nerd, I just think it sounds really good. The game is a roguelike, meaning that you'll mostly be replaying the same 8 levels over and over again. But when you do entire rooms in perfect rhythm to the song, you feel unstoppable. And that's about it. Yeah, the game's good. If you can get over the visuals a bit, I say go play it. Like and subscribe for more music analysis videos, or dislike if you want to see the cute shopkeeper bird cry. Follow me on social media, and thank you to all my patrons. That's it, bye bye!